Programming with Vishnu. Today onwards we are going to start a new series where we will learn complete Java. Today is part 1. What we are going to discuss in this video is JDK, JRE, JVM, how to write your first program, what are variables, what are data types, what is typecasting, what are operators, how to take input and how to write output, what are control flow statements. Okay, first before going to understand this all, first of all, what is Java? What is Java? Java is a programming language. Java is a programming language which we use to write, which we use to develop a programs. Which we use to develop a programs. Okay, what will happen when you develop a programs? When you develop a programs, which is going to this all programs is going to be a software or like application which we are using in our daily purpose, like any application, web application or mobile application. Okay, these are all developed by using some programming language. Okay, in that now today we are going to learn about Java. Okay, so from today onwards we are going to learn about completely Java, how you can write a Java code, what are there in the Java, like how you can develop your programs, how you can develop any application. These are the basics we are going to learn. Okay, now the first topic what we are going to learn today is what is JDK, JRE, JVM. Okay, before that, before going to understand what is JDK, JRE, JVM, when you install a Java, when you install a Java, you are going to install, you will get a JDK. When you are going to install a Java, you have to go to a website, you have to download a JDK. Okay, what is JDK? Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit. Okay, here why we are calling it as a kit means here in this JDK, whichever required for to write a program, okay, to execute a program, everything whatever required to develop a Java application, that all the things available inside this JDK, that will download and will install a Java. When you install a JDK. Okay, that's what JDK. Now observe here, JDK means complete development kit, which contains JRE development tools like compiler, debugger and extra some other whichever the required jars, like you will understand what is jars, there will be that. This is used for developing Java applications. Okay, now the next one is now you've seen the JRE. What is JRE? Okay, now you develop, okay, now you write one program, okay, but this you write, but when you write this program you need a environment to execute, right? This is Java. JRE means Java runtime environment, which provides an environment to execute a Java code, that is JRE. Next you had one more thing, JVM. What is JVM? You see Java runtime environment. This collection of libraries plus JVM. It is required to run applications. It will provide an environment to run Java applications. Okay, it includes core libraries, Java API classes and supporting files. Now what is JVM? JVM means Java Virtual Machine. Okay, it is used to execute our Java bytecode. Okay, JVM is a platform dependent. Understand, JVM is platform dependent means, for suppose you are using a Mac, you need to install specific JVM to your Mac. Windows has specific JVM, but this JVM will make your Java programs platform independent. Okay, I will explain how, but understand, if there is a JDK, it is a complete kit. Inside JDK we have a JRE. JRE contains JVM. Okay, what is the responsibility of JVM? To execute a bytecode. It is manages memory. JVM is responsible to execute a bytecode, as well as it will manage the memory, garbage collection and security. Now you'll see here I have an image. Observe here. Okay, now see, this total is JDK. When you install, you will get complete JDK. You can separately install JRE also, but when you are developing in a Java application, you need to install JDK. This JDK contains JRE. Okay, with only JRE you can't compile a Java program, but you can execute a Java program. Okay, JDK is responsible for compilation plus execution. Okay, JRE is only responsible for execution. It will not compile. Okay, here we have a compile. This is compiler, which is Java C. This is responsible for compilation. Okay, this is a debugger. You can debug your code. This all contains, that is JDK, Java Development Kit. JRE means Java Runtime Environment, which is used to run execute your files. In the JRE, we have a JVM and other libraries. JVM means Java Virtual Memory. Okay, it is responsible to execute your bytecode and also for memory management, garbage collection, and your security. Compiler is responsible to compile your Java code into a bytecode. Now see here, like there are some common interview questions. What is the difference between JDK, JRE and JVM? Okay, see here, JVM executes bytecode. Okay, JRE provides runtime environment. Okay, JRE provides runtime environment plus whichever the libraries you require. There are some libraries you require when you are writing a code. All the libraries it will provide. Okay, in that runtime environment, JVM will execute code. JDK means complete development environment. The JDK includes JRE plus development tools. Okay, here why is Java called write once, run anywhere? This one I will explain. What happens when you run Java class? Java loads that. Okay, now observe here. Now you install JDK. You installed JDK, so your machine contains Java. Okay, your machine contains Java. Now you are using consider Windows. Now you return a file. Suppose example one HelloWorld.java. You return a code. Okay, this is your Java file, HelloWorld.java. Okay, inside JDK you have a Java compiler. By using this compiler, you will convert this normal human understanding language to the bytecode. Okay, when you compile it, it will generate a bytecode. Okay, this bytecode will be in the form of, okay, always remember, bytecode will come as class name dot class. Bytecode will be always dot class file. Bytecode will be always dot class file. Now what it will be there? Hello world dot class. Hello world dot class. Now you return this in the Windows. Now you have a hello world dot class where you returned in the Windows. Now you take that hello world dot class file, you can run in anywhere, whether in Linux machine, either in Mac machine, any machine. Suppose if you have Solaris, we have different type of operating systems. You can run this dot class file anywhere where you have JRE. Okay, because dot class, the bytecode, whichever the bytecode is there, that bytecode is only understandable by JVM. If you need a JVM, you need a JRE. JRE contains JVM plus other libraries. So now here, where you return the code? In Windows. In Windows you return the code, and now you are running in Mac or Solaris or like Linux. See, now you write once, you return here, write once, run anywhere, run anywhere. You return in a Windows system. Now you are running any mission. That is called Vora. Vora means write once, run anywhere. That is Vora architecture. Means when you have a dot class file, that dot class file you can execute in any mission. Suppose if you generated this dot class file by using Windows, you can run in any other operating systems. That's what write once, run anywhere. Okay, Vora architecture. I hope you all understood. That's what here, write once and run anywhere. Okay, see here what happens when you run Java my class. I will tell this one when now only. Okay, now the second question, how to write your first program. How to write your first program. Here we will understand how to write, then how to execute. Execute means how to run. Okay, now here in a Java, whichever the code you write to write, everything you need to write under a class. Under a class. Okay, I'll explain what is class and objects are different, but you need to write everything under a class or inside a class. Okay, so you need to declare first. You need to declare your class by starting with a keyword class. Then you need to write class name. Okay, then you need to open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Observe, this is class starting point. Class starting point. This is class ending point. Okay, now this is your class. Whatever you need to write inside a class. So here you need a main method. You need a main method. Why we need a main method? I will explain what is methods and all, but here you understand you need a main method. Why you need a main method? See, when the JVM executes your program, that will search first for the main method. The execution will start from the main method. So okay, above how many lines of code you return, below how many lines of code is in, the execution will start from the main method. Execution will start from main method. Okay, the main method is public static void main. Okay, I will show the syntax. Remember, you need to declare a class key. This is the keyword. Before that, you need to declare a access modifier public. Okay, public, private. I will explain what are the access modifiers. So as of now, remember, first you need to get one access modifier, then class keyword, then class name, then open parenthesis, close parenthesis, one main method. Inside that method, your code you have to write. Okay, now see here. Okay, this is, okay, let me increase size. Okay, now observe here what I said. This is our first program. Okay, let me copy this. Paste here. Okay, now observe here. This is our first program. Okay, now as I said, this is access modifier, this is keyword, okay, and this is name, class name. Okay, now this is public static void main. This is the main method. You need to write like this only. This is fixed. If you return anything, you can write public void static, that is the main, but the main method has to be this is the starting point. Okay, this is the starting point. Now here I have this system.out.println we used to print output. Here I kept as a hello world. Okay, this is main method ending point, end of main. This is end of class. Okay, this is how you write your first program. Now see how the execution will happen. Okay, let me open here. This is my okay. Observe. Whichever the file you return, okay, I have here my Java files. Here I have HelloWorld.java. Okay, how to execute it? Observe. First, there are two steps in the execution. First you need to generate bytecode. How you will generate bytecode? By compiling. Okay, next you have to execute bytecode. How will execute bytecode? By using JRE. Okay, now see how you need to do. Always observe, this is the one. This is, I just now explained, right? Write once, run anywhere. Okay, you are writing your Java code, then you're compiling by using compiler, then whichever the environment contains JVM, you are running it. Okay, this is the. Now you have written one Java code, how to execute it. So you have a Java code. Okay, remember first thing. Suppose you opened anything node text editor. Okay, you return here Java code here. You return your Java code. First you need to save this file. Okay, you can save with any name, but always it is a good practice, whichever your class name is there, with that the same name you can save it. So now my class name is hello world, so I am saving with hello world.java. hello world.java. Okay, .java is extension to save Java programming files. This is mandatory. Okay, now you have this file. Okay, suppose some location, go to that location. Okay, observe here my hello world.java is there. In the same place I opened my command prompt, terminal. Okay, so go to, if you have Mac, go to their terminal, otherwise if you have Windows, go to command prompt. Okay, now here in this command prompt, we already installed a Java. Check Java -- version. See, I have latest Java installed. Okay, now you have Java installed. Now how to run? First you need to compile it. For compilation we need to call Java compiler. How do you call the Java compiler? By using a Java C command. Okay, now how you will compile? Always remember this command. You have to type Java C, then file name. What is file name? Hello world.java. Now this when you run this one, it will generate one .class file. Hello world.class file. Remember, this .class file name is always your class name. This .class file name is always your class name. This is not going to be changed. Remember always, what is the bytecode class name? Your class. What is the bytecode file name? Your class name. How you are going to execute this? By using Java command. This is a command which will call the JRE. Okay, which will call the JRE. Java C will call compiler. Then you have to give Java hello world. You can .class. Okay, see execution here. Now here I have a HelloWorld.java class. Now let me clear. See, first step I am calling Java C hello world.java. Enter. Now observe here in my here I got dot class file. Observe, see, I'll remove this. Again I will run the compile command. Observe, if you successfully compile your class, then you will get a dot class file. Observe here, suppose I will make something here. This is okay. This now you observe. See, it's saying there is some statement unexpected. Okay, that's why we got two errors. See, now you don't have any dot class file. This is before's one. Okay, I'm just move to bin. Now observe here. See, you don't have any dot class file. Until the successful compilation, you don't get any dot class files. When the Java program runs successfully, then you will get a dot class file which contains a bytecode. Now see, I'll just go and I'll revert the changes. I'll save it. Now let me run the again. See, now it is successfully compiled without any errors. You can see a dot class file. Now with the Java command, okay, hello world dot class. Enter. See, sorry, dot class is not required. Okay, you just directly by calling Java and mention just hello world. You see, now in my program what is there? System.out.println is there. Okay, write one. I'll write one more statement. Okay, see here, hello world programming with Vishnu. Okay, let me save this. Okay, now I'll execute directly. See, why didn't it print second statement? Because observe here, your Java file is modified at 514. Okay, but this dot class file is generated at 548, means which doesn't contain your this line is not converted to the bytecode. So when every time when you change the code, okay, you need to compile it again. See, I am compiling it again. Now I will call see, now both the print statements is got executed. Okay, this is how you need to write your first program and how to execute it. Observe here, I written in notes also. Okay, see here what I am trying to say here. A Java program is set of instructions. Okay, what is set of instruction? Now here you have set of instructions, right? Anything you are writing, that all called set of instructions. Okay, set of instruction in a writing Java programming language. Okay, now observe, what is Java program? A Java program is set of instructions written in the Java programming language. Every Java program must be inside a Java class. Okay, I said everything you need to write inside a Java class. Have a main method for execution. This is the starting point of the execution. Be compiled into bytecode using Java C. You need to use Java C. Okay, then run by the JVM, that's what Java, you need to use Java command. Okay, observe here I kept everything. Okay, see here, this is the class name hello world, this is the public access file, this is the keyword, this is the main method, starting point of any Java program. Okay, public is access modifier, static. Okay, I written everything what is what. Okay, main method, this is the name. If anyone asks why it is a main method, means that is the name given to that method. And one print statement, end of the class, end of main method. Now here see I given the, if you want you can see here Java C hello world.java Java hello world to run the compiled bytecode. Okay, I hope you understand. Now we'll move to the next topic. Okay, what is the third topic here? Variables and data types. First we'll talk about data types. Okay, first we'll understand what is variable. Okay, observe, you have anything is a data. Suppose here my name is there. Vishnu. This is also one data. Okay, now I'll just simply explain what is variable. Consider in our real, just you have, like you have a water and you have a one bucket. Okay, so you're going to store this water, no, here inside this water. Okay, what is this one? This one which is like bucket, which is used to store a water. The same way, a variable which is used to store a data. Variable is used to store a data. How it will look like? Suppose this is the data. Okay, consider it will be like kind of container. This data is going to be stored inside this container. This container is called as variable. Variable is used to store a data. Okay, that is what variable. We'll discuss completely about variable, what is different types of variables and all. Okay, here we are storing a data into a variable. First of all, what is data? Okay, a data is an information. Okay, a data is an information, anything. Suppose I'll tell you about suppose my name is Vishnu. Okay, my age is 26. Okay, suppose I am staying in some XYZ location. Okay, now see here, this is all about data. Okay, but here when I say my name, I written by using a alphabets, like a word. Here I mention my name by using a numbers. Okay, when I am writing my data, normally also I am using different kind of, okay, like I am using here alphabets, I am using here numbers. Even in a Java also, when you are providing a data to a program, you need to tell which is which data type. It is which data types. Okay, now here we have a data types. Data types. Okay, well, how many types we have in Java? There are 2 types. Okay, in Java there are 2 types of data types. One is primitive, one is non-primitive. One is primitive, one is non-primitive. Primitive data types are like int. Okay, first of all, let's understand what is primitive data types. Observe here, primitive data types are the basic built-in data types provided by Java. They store simple values, not object references. They store simple values, not objects. Okay, observe here. So like if you want to store like numbers, like words, okay, characters, this all, whichever, then those are all going to be primitive data types. Now what is object means? You will have class, right? Just now you learned about how to create a class and all this. Every class we are going to create objects. Okay, where whichever you are storing that objects, right, those are non-primitive types. Okay, see here, by using primitive types you can just store a data. You can just store a data. In non-primitive types, here you will store object reference. You will store object reference. Here you can't call any methods. You can't call any methods. But here in non-primitive you can call object methods. You can call object methods. These are 2 data types. In primitive we have, there are certain, again we have different types. One is int. Okay, first we'll come step by step. Okay, first one is byte, short, int, long. Okay, next in boolean we have float, double. Okay, then char. These are all data types. In non-primitive type, like you can say string, okay, classes, arrays, enum. These are all non-primitive data types. I clearly mentioned here in the notes. Observe. Okay, we have a byte type, short, integer, long, float, double, char, boolean. How this all divided? Based on the size. Based on the size. Byte can contain only 1 byte. Okay, it can store up to the value. Suppose if you are in numbers, from minus 128 to 127. Okay, in short you can store minus 32,768 to 32,767. This is 2 bytes of memory. Int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes, float again. Okay, this is all. This 4 is will come for the whole numbers. Okay, next these 2 values will come for the decimal values. Okay, next one is character is for the characters like a, exclamatory mark, okay, semicolon. These are all to store these values. Character boolean is just true or false. Okay, like yes or no, it is going to store, that is the boolean. Now in non-primitive data types, we have string, arrays, classes, interfaces, enums. Okay, these are all examples. See, that store the memory address, that is what I said, reference of the object. Okay, they are created by the programmer itself. Okay, these are all by default Java will provide. Even here also string Java will provide. The classes, interfaces, enums, these are going to create by us. Observe here. Okay, in primitive type this will store the actual value. Suppose when you return int I equal to 3, okay, here directly 3 will be stored. In the reference only address of that object it will be stored. Size is fixed. In the non-primitive type size is vary. Can be null? No, primitive types can't be null. Okay, here non-primitive types can be null, because primitive types if you don't declare also, it will be always by default with the default values. Okay, default values. Now observe here, we have already discussed what are the different types. Memory efficient, more efficient, less efficient, because object is going to store more data. Can call methods? I said no, it is can't call methods, it can call methods. Okay, now we'll see one demo for data types. Okay, if you are using any IDE, okay, here you don't need to run like Java C command and all. See, you will have a run. If you right click anywhere, you will have a run button. When you run it, right, see, it will run the out, it will provide you output, as well as here you will have an output class. Here you will have your dot class files. Okay, IDE will take care. Okay, I'll suggest when you are writing a first time your Java code, please use notepad and compile like how I shown. Don't use these IDEs in the first phase, because you will not learn, you don't understand what syntax is properly. Okay, that's fine. Now here observe here, I declared one byte variable. Okay, before that we need to understand how to declare a variables. Okay, now observe here how to declare a variable. See, now here syntax. What is the syntax for variable declaration? Variable. Okay, now observe here. Must and should will be the data type. You need to mention what is the data type. Then here variable name. Okay, variable name. If you declare, always remember in Java you have to end with semicolon. Suppose you return only like this, this is variable declaration. Suppose you return a data type, okay, variable name, then you provided some value. Okay, this is called variable declaration plus initialization. Why we are calling initialization? You are initialized one value to this variable. Okay, this is what syntax. In notes also I provided this, the variables concepts. Okay, see here, this is the data. Variable means this kind of bucket which will store the data. Okay, now observe here in the syntax I provided, this is Java data type, this is the declaration, this is the initialization. Okay, variable is a named memory location that stores the data values during the program execution. Okay, see here, think of a variable as a loaded labeled container in a RAM that holds a data, like a container which holds a data, that is called variable. Okay, now before going to that, understand variable name must start with letter. It has to whether start with letter or underscore or dollar symbol. Okay, can't start with the digits. Okay, always remember in Java variables are case sensitive. Okay, you declared one variable, suppose like name, okay, and a small letter name. These both are two different variables. Okay, this is different variable, this is different variable. It is case sensitive. Okay, there are 52 keywords. You can't use that keywords as a variable name. Okay, suppose now you have seen the class we setting keyword, right? You can't declare this class as a variable name. Okay, this is reserved keyword, you can't use that. Should follow the camel case convention, means you have to write in a proper camel case, but it will not going to throw error, but it is a good practice. Okay, now observe here. Here we have a byte. You have to declare like this byte. This is the data type, next variable name and the value. Okay, same way short we have declared here different types. Here byte variable, this is short data type, int data type, long data type. Okay, see, always remember to differentiate between the int and long. In the long you have to end it is a L. It is not a like kind of mandatory, but when you are assigning to the long, right, it is a good practice to keep L. Okay, in the same way float you have to end with F, but the double you don't need. See, float when you use need to, suppose you know there are three, after dot there are 3 or 4 digits only, you can go with the float, but you don't know how many digits will come after decimal, double. Mostly will in the industry will use double only. Okay, then character, here it will store any one character. Okay, so character means it is a one letter or one alphabet or one symbol. Next the boolean, this is the boolean data type, and this is the variable name and data. Okay, see, this is primitive data type, non primitive data type. Okay, this is a string. Why I am saying, see here, if I use string where I can call methods, see, get bytes, this is a method. Suppose here, see, bool where is there, dot I don't get, see, this is all, see, we don't, there is no method because this, see, there is no class, but for the string you have a class. I told, right, classes are non-primitive data type. See, class as a data type, string as a class. Okay, so here as of now remember, whichever the way we created is a creating a string object by literal way. Okay, we can create in a two ways. This is one way to create a string object. I will discuss in later classes. Okay, this is arrays. Okay, now when you run this program, see, you will get the values, byte, short, int, whatever you declare the values, everything is going to be print. This is also I provided in the notes. Complete Java program. You can see when you get a doubt. Okay, always remember the size of a data type. In a byte, if you try to store more than 127 plus value, okay, see what is going to happen. Now observe here, I written here 129. Okay, see, it is throwing error. Okay, let me execute it here. See, incompatible types. Okay, why? Because byte doesn't have, that can't store 129 value, it can store up to 127. So always remember this size convention when you are declaring the data types. Okay, now we'll move into the variables. You already understood what is a variable. Variable is a container which stores a data. Now observe here, this is a variable, means it's like kind of representation. Now okay, how many types of variables we have? Now we'll discuss about types of variables. Okay, there are 4 types of variables. One is local variables, second one is instance variables, third one is static variables, fourth one is Fourth one is final variables. Final variables will call also constants. Will call as a constants. Okay, these are different types of variables. Now observe here how we differentiate it is like when you okay, now you have one class here. You have one class. Observe here you have one method. Okay, this is class starting point, this is class ending point, this is method starting point, this is method ending. Okay, if you declare a variable, you declare a variable inside a method. Okay, if you declare inside a method or inside a constructor or inside a block, those variables are called local variables. Why local variables? This variable whichever you declared inside a method is only accessible. Okay, the method which you declared inside a method, that is only accessible until the method scope. Scope means starting to ending point, that is scope, until a method scope. That's why it is called as local variable. Okay, now this next thing. Well, let me write clearly. Class method. Okay, whichever you return a variable inside a method, that is called local variable. This is called local variable. If you return a variable outside a method inside a class, outside a method inside a class means excluding this space. Okay, if you return here like in the class space, here you return a variable. This variable is called instance variable. Instance variable. Okay, this is accessible anywhere from the class. Okay, but by using object reference. By using object reference. To accessible this variable from anywhere, you need a object reference. Now the same thing, what is static variable? A variable declared outside a method. Okay, declared outside a method inside a class with static keyword. With static keyword variable. Okay, with static keyword. This is called as static variable. This is called as static variable. The static variable directly will access with the class name. Directly will access with the class name. Okay, now next one is final variable. Okay, any variable that is declared with the final keyword, whether it is local or whether it is a class or anything which is declared with the final keyword, those are called final variables. Okay, this is what different types. Now need to understand what is the difference. Okay, what is the difference? Let's try to understand why we need these many types. Okay, first we'll understand local variables. Okay, local variables which is declared inside a method or constructor. Okay, these are only accessible until that scope, either method scope or constructor or block. Okay, if you want to perform any operation by using these variables, you can only perform inside this. Okay, here in local variables you can directly access. You can directly access by name. You can directly access by name. Okay, suppose now you have instance. You remember here instance slash object. Instance also same, object also same. Some people will call object variables, some people will call instance variables. Okay, now here difference is this is available throughout the class. This is available throughout the class. But here these instant variables only accessible by using object reference. by using object reference. And this will get into memory location. This will be loaded into the memory location when the object is created. Suppose if the object is not created, means suppose this is the memory, right? Okay, suppose we have a variable called name. Until the object is created, this is not going to store inside a memory. Okay, suppose if the object is created, then this is going to store inside a memory. How you will call? Object.name. Okay, this is what. And understand one more thing. Object variable, suppose this name is there, right? Suppose you created 10 objects, 1 2 3 4 5. This will create 10 times. Okay, this object, for the first object the name is different, second object the name is different, third object the name is different, fourth object the name is different. Okay, for every object one copy of variable will be created. Okay, that is what instance object variables. Then the next one is class level, means static variables. Okay, this static variables, observe here one more thing. This instance variable will be loaded at runtime. Means when you are executing byte code, right? That is runtime. That runtime, this will be loaded into the memory. But here this class static variables will load at compile time only. Why? Because this is class level variables. Here you don't need to, here what is the dependency? Here you need, suppose the user maybe create user, might not be create object, right? So that's why it will load at runtime by seeing object creation. But here this is declared as a static variable, means class level variable. That's why directly it will load at compile time only to the memory. Okay, see, remember always it is important to understand difference between the instance variable and static variable. Instance variables will be loaded at a memory when the object is created, that is runtime. Okay, class variables will be loaded at the memory compile time itself. When you are trying to execute, when you are trying to compile and generate byte code, that time only it will be loaded into the memory. And one more thing, this class static variables you can directly access by using class name. No need to create object. You can access by using object reference also, but is not recommended. You can directly access by using a class name. Okay, and one more thing here, the major difference in a memory, suppose you created 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 objects. Okay, so 7 objects you will get 7 local variables, correct? But 7 instance variables. But for static variable, how many objects you create? It is going to create only one instance, one static variable. Okay, this is the difference between the static variable, instance variable and local variable. Observe here, I provided everything. You see, local variables declare inside methods, constructors, blocks, must be initialized before use. Okay, local variables you have to initialize before use. I will show you in the code. Scope is limited to the block where you declare. Whether you declare inside a method, it is until the method. It is declared inside a constructor until a constructor. If you declare inside a block, until a block. Okay, see, no default values. Okay, no default values. For the local variables there will be no default values. You have to initialize. That's what must be initialized before use. Whichever the instance variables, these are declared inside a class but outside a methods. Outside method means outside a constructors also, outside a blocks also. Each object has its own copy. I said suppose 10 objects created, 10 variables will be there inside a memory. Get default values automatically. What is default values? Suppose you declare a variable which is int, means for int default value is 0. For double 0.0. Okay, like that default values will be automatically assigned. Accessed by using object reference. Here there is no direct, you can access it direct by using any, without reference you can access local variables, but instance variables which are non-static, which are object variables, that you can use you can access by using object reference. Next, class variables which are static, declared with static keyword, shared among all instances of the class, means you create 10 object, only one static variable will be there. One copy exists regardless of object created. Accessed using class name. Okay, accessed using class name. What are the final variables? Declared with final keyword. Value cannot be changed once initialized. That's what final. If you return a final, okay, suppose final int equal to 10, you can't change this value. Okay, once initialize this value, you can't change. Final int x is equal to 10 means later if you write x is equal to 20, it will throw error, because final variable means once you initialize a value, you can't change the value. Okay, so here local final variables, instance final variables, static final means, see here, cannot be reassigned within their scope. See, local final variables must be initialized before use and cannot be reassigned within their scope. I will show what is this. Instant final variables must be initialized either at declaration or in a constructor. Each object instance has its own copy. Static final variable means class level constructor. Means static variable is called also global constant. Static final variables also called as global constants. Okay, global constants. Instance final variable will call as object constants. Okay, here we got two new words. What is global constant? One is object constant. Object constant. When you declare static variable by using final, you call it as global constant. When you declare instance variable, that is called as object constant. Okay, just it is a naming convention, you can observe here. One more thing here, note, neither instance final variables nor static final variables can be changed. No variable, if you declare with the final keyword, you can't change the value. Okay, but here important distinction with objects. While the reference cannot be changed if the final variable holds, a reference to a mutable object, the object's internal state can be modified. Means, see here, this is one kind of, consider this is also one variable only. Consider this is a list which contain items. You can't assign to the new array list. Okay, you can't assign to the new array list, but inside this list you can change the values. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say here. When you go more into the concepts, right, you will understand, but as of now you remember there is a list. Okay, for this list I kept name as reference name as consider items, but these items I can't assign new list, but inside this list I can change the values. Okay, inside that list I can change the values. Now we'll see here, okay, one code example for all the things. I have declared here one class with the variable demo. Now observe here, I will provide this all the code also. See here, when they forget about this private, final and all things. Okay, these are access modifiers. Okay, let me remove this all things. Okay, this is the way you can write. This is the data type, this is the variable name, okay, and this is the value. This here what you did, here you declared a variable, and initialized also. Okay, here we have an instance final. Okay, now observe same thing. Okay, see here, string and variable name, I have some data I kept with the final. This is become instance final variable. See here, must be initialized in a constructor or a declaration. What I am trying to say here, you now observe here, this is instance final, right? When I remove here, observe, when I remove, I just end like this. See, it is throwing compile time error. Observe, Java variable instance final might not have been initialized. See, suppose this is a constructor of this class. Okay, suppose I will declare here, okay, this dot instance final equal to some, I'll just give name. See, now the error is gone. Okay, that is, see, no, there is no error. So that's what I am trying to explain here. What is this? Okay, what is this sentence means? Whether you have to initialize at a time of where you declare a variable, or you have to initialize by using a constructor. That is for instance variable. These are both instance variable. One is instance final variable, one more is normal instance variable. Okay, now here observe, this is the string, same here, this is the string, this is the data type, variable name, value, but you just appended a keyword called static. This is the static variable. Okay, here all these are all same. Okay, let me remove these things just for understanding. Okay, these are all access modifier. You can keep private, public. I will explain those also. Static, final, double. Okay, now observe here. Now here I have one static, final, double. This is pi. Okay, this is global constant. Okay, when you need to use this kind of static final means that you know that value is not going to be changed. Okay, everywhere it is same. See, now the pi value 3.14159, this is everywhere same. Okay, when you need to use object constants means this for any number of objects. Suppose you created, I'll tell you 1 minute. Okay, suppose here I'll write one. Now suppose you have one variable called final area of circle. Okay, is equal to, I'm just writing here, pi r square. Okay, this is string, right? String you have to keep inside double quotes. Okay, pi r square. See, it is throwing error. Why? Because you need to write a data type, that is mandatory. Okay, see, pi r square, I am just written as a string. See, this is not going to change with any number of circles you created. Okay, circle, okay, one more, you can take a variable here, string, okay, int radius. Okay, int radius. This radius value is going to be changed with the every circle. Suppose you sometimes you can create a circle with the 10 diameter, 10 radius, sometimes you can create with 20, but the formula of a calculating this circle area is not going to be changed with the object. So that's why it is a object constant you have to declare, and the radius you have to declare as a normal object variable. Okay, this is the way you have to use. Like this you have to think static variable. When you need to use a global constant throughout of a program, that value is not going to be a change. Okay, this is now pi value, you go anywhere, this pi value is same. Okay, this is the way. Now observe here. See here, Java variable demo, like just static variable before object creation. Okay, see, when I run a program here, I have some error. Let me see where this error. Okay, now execute here. Now see here output. Okay, local variables. See here, I am a static variable. Okay, this is printed here. I am a static variable. Now observe here. Here I accessed a static variable which is declared here. Okay, but I didn't use any reference to call. Okay, because in the same class, if you want to call the static variable of the same class, you don't need to write, you don't need to use anything, but still you can use variable.demo.static variable. Okay, if other classes you need to mention mandatorily class name dot variable, but in the same class it is not like you don't need it. Okay, but see, you have other variables also. You have instance variable. These are all how you going to be access. You have to create. This is the way of creating an object. I will explain this one in separate class, but as of now this is the way of creating an object. Okay, I created one demo1 object, demo2 object. See here, with the demo1 object, okay, I am calling instance variable. Demo2 object also I am calling the same instance variable. Now see here, when I execute this one, see, demo instance variable, demo2 instance variable is here. See, because on demo1 I didn't initialize anything, so I initialized first here only instance variable, so it is a I am instance variable. But by using for second object I want separate value. For second object I want separate value, so I kept demo2 dot instance variable here, demo2 instance variable. That's why you have two variables. I said, right, how many objects you create, how many objects you going to create, okay, that many it will be there. Okay, now observe here. I will remove this all the things. Here I will show you one difference. Understand. I just kept one empty print statement. What I am doing here, observe here I have two objects. I am calling here instance variable as well as static variable. See here, for this two instances will be created. I said what I said, how many objects will be there? There will be only one static variable. Let me execute it. See here, for here demo1 instance variable I am instance variable. Here demo2 I need to initialize here. Okay, demo2 dot instance variable equal to test. I said end with semicolon is mandatory in a Java code. Now observe here, I am a instance variable. This is different for demo1, this is different for demo2. But here see, accessed via demo1, I am a static variable, I am a static variable. You are thinking, okay, let me change here, demo2 dot static variable. Static variable equal to Vishnu something. Okay, now see here, see I changed using demo2 object. Okay, I didn't change by using demo1 object. How for the demo1 it is Vishnu? As I said, the static variables are only one will be there, that will be shared across all the objects. If you change by using second object reference or you change by using first object reference, it will affect for both objects. Okay, it will be effective for the both objects. This is what variables and different types. Okay, what is the next concept we have? The next thing is typecasting. Okay, observe what is typecasting. Okay, here I provided some interview questions also. Okay, here I provided some interview questions also. What are the different type of variables in a Java? There are 4 types of variables. What is the difference between the instance and static variables? This is the most important. Okay, instance variable belongs to specific object. Okay, and each object has its own copy. Static variables belong to the class itself and are shared among all the instances of the classes. You can tell also instance variables is accessible by object reference, and you can mention static variables are accessible by using instance, static means class reference. What are the different values of being different data types in Java? Okay, we have numeric types, floating types, boolean, object types. And what is variable shadowing? This I will explain later, but you can keep it here. Can local variables have default values? No, local variables must be explicitly initialized before use, as I said maybe. What is difference between the declaration and initialization? Declaration means you just declare a variable. Initialization means you will provide a value. That is the difference. Okay, next, what are the rules of variable naming? And what is the scope and lifetime of variables? Can we change the value of a final variable? No, final variables are constants. Once you initialize, their values can't be changed. What is the difference between primitive and non-primitive? Primitive variables are like inbuilt type. Non-primitives store the references. Primitive directly will store the value. Okay. See here, primitive data types are defined by Java, non-primitive types are user defined. Like non-primitive types are means mostly classes. Okay. Now what is typecasting? Okay, here we have two types of casting. Okay, here I am just talking about data typecasting. We have one more casting like upcasting, like you can cast the object references, that will talk later. Now as of now, here typecasting we are talking about widening, narrowing, means implicit casting, explicit casting. Okay, see here, implicit casting means, okay, as an automatic conversion from smaller to larger data type. Okay, no data loss occurs. First I will explain clearly, then we'll see here. First is widening. First one is widening. What is widening? Here widening, just normal way, you are just widening means like you are increasing the size. Okay, you are increasing the size, like you will say, right, when a load. Okay, narrowing, one more is narrowing. Narrowing means you are decreasing a size. Here you are increasing, here you are decreasing a size. By this only you will understand completely. Okay, now observe, casting means here converting from one data type to another data type. Okay, converting from one data type to another data type. Observe here, suppose I have int x is equal to 9999. Suppose this value I have. So what I can do casting means here long L is equal to, consider long L is equal to, I can keep x, means I am assigning integer data type to the long data type. Okay, so here what I am doing, here int is small, okay, long is big data type, so you are assigning small one to the big one, that's why it is called as widening. Okay, what will happen, observe here what I am trying to say, you have two buckets. When you are pouring a water from small bucket to the bigger bucket, okay, this is called widening. Means when you are assigning a small data type to a bigger data type, here what will happen, no data loss will happen. Okay, when you are pouring a water from the small to bigger bucket, any data will be lost, any water will be spilled out, no. Okay, but what is narrowing means, the same way you have long variable. Okay, long, suppose number equal to, you have some number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, you are assigning this to the int now int okay, x is equal to number you are keeping, this will also work. Okay, this is what narrowing, when we are converting from bigger data type to smaller data type, means when you have two buckets, one is bigger one is smaller one, when this you are pouring from this bucket to this bucket, what will happen here, data loss will be happen, data loss will occur here. Okay, when we'll use, in some situations we need to convert, mostly widening, you will get a one integer variable, that variable is going to be bigger in when you are running the program, so for the future purpose you are going to assign it to the long to store more data. Narrowing will use very less, but typecasting means converting one data type to another data type. Why we are calling here widening and narrowing, and we use in one more word also, implicit and explicit. Okay, observe here, implicit explicit means compiler will convert directly, typecasting. Now we have variable int x is equal to 10, when you are assigning long y equal to x. Okay, here you are not mentioning anything. Okay, here compiler will understand and will do the casting. Okay, that's what implicit casting. Implicit means understand, widening. Okay, now but suppose you same thing you are doing. Okay, you have one variable long z is equal to 2 5 4 6 8 9 something you have. When you are converting to this int x, you have to mention, okay, int z. You are explicitly telling the conversion, how to convert, you are explicitly telling to the compiler to convert this z into the int type. This is explicit casting, means narrowing. When you do narrowing, right, you have to tell, because this is your responsibility. If you lose the data, you are already telling the compiler Okay, so that will convert, because here you have to explicitly mention, because here data loss will occur, you have to take the responsibility. That is what explicit casting. These are the two types of casting. See, hierarchy I mentioned here. By this is when you go from this side to this side, this is widening. From this side to this side, it is narrowing. Okay, I'll show you example code.
Where is input output data types hello world?
Okay, typecasting. Observe here, there are so much things is there. Let's see. Okay, I written this to everyone. Now understand here. See here, I have byte. Okay, this is for implicit casting example. I have byte value that I can assign to short. Okay, this short value I can assign to the integer value. Int value I can assign to the long. Okay, next long also you can assign to the float. This is, you can do it. Okay, now see here, when I run here, you observe only until this byte double. Observe here, implicit casting byte 10 double 10.0. there will be no data loss. Okay, you has kept 10, it is 10.0. now observe here, in explicit casting you have a double 9.78. okay, now that you are converting to the float type. See, I mentioned whichever the data type you converting, you have to mention explicitly. That's why it is explicit casting. Okay, double to float, float to long, long to integer, integer to short, okay, short to byte. Okay, this is what explicit casting. Now observe here, and one more thing, this is character. See, character is, you are typing it as a, but it will backend, it will understand the ASCII value. Okay, it will understand the ASCII value. See, now here when you are converting from the character to the integer, okay, it is implicit casting. When you want to do the from the integer to the character, okay, that is explicit casting. Now you will understand here in the output. Now see, you have a string. Okay, when you have to convert, this is the number, right? 1 2 3. There is a class integer parse int method you need to use to convert into the int. For the double also, double dot parse double. Okay, now see here, to convert from number to string, string dot value of number, value of method you need to use. Okay, suppose here 1 2 3 4, there is a value, something is a character is there. See, now what you will get, see, you got exception. Okay, because the cell can't convert, only the when you confirm there is a numbers only in the string, then you can use this integer dot parse int method to convert. See, there is no error. Now observe, byte is converted to double, double is converted to byte. Okay, character A means 65 ASCII value, you can search. Okay, when you give 65, we got A. See, 1 2 3 to integer 1 2 3, int 456 to string 456. Now observe here, data loss example. This is the, see, I have a here large integer, I mean integer which is int 300 value. I am converting to the byte type. Okay, what is here, byte capacity is minus 128 to plus 127. More than that it can't store. Okay, that's why you lose the data. See, observe here, you have a 300, you are converting to the byte type. Okay, you can get any number. See here, we lost 44 data. We got, see here, int is 300, byte value is 44. Okay, see here, you lose the data. 300 you provided, but you lose, it came only 44. Okay, now you can provide here even 129. Okay, let me run here. See, you got minus 127. See, when you lose the data, you don't know which value will come. If you give 127, see, int is 127, byte also 127. After that one value given, there will be loss of data. You don't know which value will get. See, minus 128. Okay, you can give 500 also. See, for 500 you got minus 12. Okay, if you give 300, you are getting, see, 44. You will lose the data. When you are doing narrowing, okay, from bigger type to smaller type, you will lose the data. Okay, this is what typecasting. What is implicit and explicit, what is narrowing, what is widening, this is okay. What is the next topic? Okay, let me clear this all. Okay, we completed 5 topics. What is the next topic? Operators. Okay, we have different types of operators. Okay, why we need operators we'll discuss now. See, we have different types of operators. Arithmetic operators means plus, minus, multiplication, division, okay, and percentile, whichever you use to perform mathematic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, those are all called arithmetic operations. Okay, relational operators which you perform to check for the check condition, which operators are used to check condition, whether you want to check whether it is equal, greater than, less than, okay, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, okay, those are all called relational operators. Okay, these are all logical operators. Logical operators means when you need to check two conditions. Okay, suppose condition 1, condition 2, this you have to check both conditions are true means you have to use AND operator. Whether you need to see whether one condition is true means OR operator. Those are conditional operator. Logical, it is not true, not false. Then assignment operators. Okay, assignment operators, here we have, this is assigning a value. Till now you seen x is equal to 10, you are assigning x equal to 10, you are comparing. When it is a double equals, it is a relational operator. When it is a single equal, it is assignment operator. Okay, now observe here. Now here you have plus or equal to, okay, minus or equal to, okay, I'll explain one thing here. You know, suppose x plus or equal to 5 written, this means x is equal to x plus 5. This is this evaluation. Now suppose x minus, okay, sorry, x minus or equal to 5, this means x is equal to x minus 5. Okay, that is plus or equal to, multiply equal to, slash equal to, percentage equal to, this is assignment operators. Unary operators like plus plus, okay, minus minus, plus minus, this is okay. Now bitwise operators means when you need to perform a bit operation, this AND, okay, pipe symbol, okay, this, okay, this one shift in the left right. Next, ternary operator, which is when this condition is true, this value will get out. When the condition is false, you will get value 2, like if else. Okay, we'll see the examples. There is no much explanation. Observe here, we have two variables, a equal to b equal to 3. Here this is equal to means assigning, you are for b you are assigning 3 value, a you are assigning 10 value. Okay, arithmetic operators, a plus b, a minus b, a into b, this way you use. Okay, relational operators, whether a equal to b, a not equal to b, a greater than b, a less than b, this is the way you use. Next, boolean, x is equal to true, y equal to false. Logical operators, okay, whether see x and y, okay, either this is true, this is false, right? This is both conditions has to be true, that's why it is a false. And or not. Next, assignment operators, just now I said plus or equal to 3 means c equal to c plus 3. C minus or equal to 2 means c equal to c minus 2. C into 2 means c equal to c into 2. Okay, now here unary operators, plus plus d, this is when the plus plus is there before the variable, that is pre-increment. When the plus plus is there after the variable name, that is post increment. Okay, this is, if you there minus is there, minus is there before the variable, that is pre decrement. If after there, that is post decrement. Okay, now observe here. A greater than b, these are ternary operators. Now bitwise operators means here it will, these operators will perform the operations on the bits of a number. Suppose see For 5, when you write a value, it is 101, means like it is not 101, 101, it is into the bit format. For 3, 11, because this 1 means here 2, okay, 0, 2, this one means 4, 5, okay, like that it will calculate. Now see here, when P and Q, okay, this will perform AND operator. Now means AND operator, this value will be 1. How? 1 1 0, okay, 0 1 1, like that it will come. Okay, this will perform the operations on the bit values. Okay, everything here, left shift, right shift, okay, this thing or X or not, this all will perform the operations on the bits. Okay, now here, now you observe here, this is operator precedence. Multiplication will be first. Okay, if you return like this, first 5 into 2 will be happen, then it is will be added to the 10. Okay, see now the parenthesis first it will calculate here, then it will be see, observe the values here. Now observe here, 10 plus 5 into 2, 5 into 2 10, okay, here plus 10 is equal to, you got 20. The same thing you are written inside the parenthesis, 10 into 10 plus 5 into 2, here you see, here the value. So for that there is a difference, 10 plus 5 15, 15 into 2 30. This is what operator precedence means. In the code, first there will be like kind of multiplication will first, then will be addition, okay, otherwise first division, then multiplication, like that. That is the operator precedence. This is examples for the operators. Now we have the next topic is input and output. Okay, here input and output means simple. Here we need to ask some input to the from the user. Okay, there are so many methods, but as of now we will discuss about scanner and system classes. We need to ask input from the user, we need to provide output to the user. To ask input we use the scanner class, to provide output we use system.out.println. okay, we need to create a scanner class object, then we have methods called next int to take integer input. Okay, here see the system.out, we have print method. Print method means it will print in same line. Println means it will print in next line. Printf means it is a format printing. If you want to format printing means you will keep some value d, you provide this one, in this percentile d this value will be replaced. Okay, that is printf. Mostly we'll use in Java print and println. Okay, in scanner class, okay, we have a next method for just reading one word. Next line means complete sentence. Next int means to read the integer variable. Next double means to read the double value. Okay, to use this class we need to import this scanner class from the java.util.package. Okay, we'll see the examples here. Input output demo. Now observe here. Okay, this is the way you are printing. Okay, like see, this is the print, no new line. Observe here, see this is and continues on same line, because you use the print statement, right? There will be no new line, it will continues on the same line. When you use the println, it will come in the new line. Okay, this will use to print any information. This is the format printing. I said right, %n, this is used to, this variable will be replaced in this space. Okay, now here observe, blindly remember, we need to take an input from the user, you need to create an object of a scanner class. For that you need to import a, importing means I said right, in the JRE you have a libraries. In that library this is the one class, predefined class. You need to tell the compiler the scanner class is available inside this path. That is what import. So this is the blind way of creating. Just remember scanner, you have to remember this one line as of now until you understand the creation of what is the class, what is the object. Scanner, this is the class name, variable name. New used to create an object, you are calling constructor, you are providing the input. Okay, scanner is equal to new scanner system.in. This is the, until now you just remember this is the way you need to create a scanner object. Okay, see here, If you want to enter, you ask username. If the name will be like Vishnu Vardhan Reddy, my name, so it will be like 3 words, right? So you need to read. This is for reading a sentence. Okay, this is for reading a next int. Okay, this is the way you need to call. This will store user age. Okay, next user height. Okay, is student or not. Okay, next you will ask your favorite code. Okay, now observe. Let me run. See here, it is asking for my name. Okay, I'll just zoom it. Vishnu, I will enter. See, I will enter Vishnu. See, it is asking for my name. Oh, sorry, age. I am entering 26. Height 5.6. Okay, are you a student? False. And a favorite code. Learn with joy. See your information. Okay, you are printing here. We are printing right here. All this variable contains my data which I provided. Okay, enter a number validation. Okay, 1. You entered 1. Okay, below you have a some code. You can execute it and you can check where you take a number. Okay, provide some validations. Okay, this is the way you will take a input and you will provide a output by using system.out.println. .println method you have, print method you have, printf method you have. Okay, now come to the last topic, control flow. Here we have different types. Here first of all, control flow means, I will tell you here, suppose your execution flow is going the straight way. Okay, so you need to, if it is a some value, yes, you need to go to the left side. No, you need to go to the right side. Means the flow is going like this. You are controlling a flow here. That's why we call it as a control flow statements. Okay, in this we have if else switch, and to execute certain conditions, certain code when the flow is happening. Suppose your flow is going here, you came to reach here, you need to perform certain operations. Okay, so you need to certain perform operations which are similar, like in a loop way, that operations will keep inside a loop. Okay, that we have 3 type of loops: for loop, while loop, do while loop. Okay, now observe here, we'll see the syntaxes. See here, you need to provide if, then you have to write down the condition here, then you need to open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Else if means you can write number of else if, else if, you can write number of else if. Okay, then else. Okay, you can return like this. This is the syntax for if else. Now here switch, you provide one value. Suppose you tell value 1 means this block will execute. Suppose you provided value 2 means this not execute, this will execute. Suppose nothing means you can keep the default also. Any value come, if not matching with, you have to keep that. Here break is mandatory. If you don't keep a break, right, if this value matches, then all the flow will get executed. When you keep a break, this will break here, the remaining will not executed. Okay, now from Java 14 onwards, you can use arrow marks to in the switch cases directly. One you send means this will execute. No need to break. This will execute and it will like completed. Now loops. You need to have the one initialization, condition, update. Okay, your for loop. This is the while loop. Okay, and this is do while loop. Break and continue. I will explain all simply. Now observe. For loop means you need to use for, then here one variable you need to assign, then here condition. Okay, here you have to provide a condition. Okay, then here you need to provide whether you need to increase that value or decrease that value. You need to perform some operation. Why we need a condition means this condition will tell inside this code is there, it will execute how many number of times. If you don't have a condition, this code will execute, okay, like it will execute continuously until your memory over. That's why condition is mandatory. In the same way, while loop, while has condition. Okay, until this condition is true, this flow, this code will get executed. Okay, if condition is false, this will come out of loop. Okay, here observe, here there is a difference. This do while loop is there, right? Do while. here code will be there. Here this will enter into the loop when the condition is true. Okay, this will not execute at one time also if the condition is false. Okay, if you go in this, will the do while loop, the code will get executed one time. Okay, then the condition will be evaluated. Okay, so that's what difference between the while loop and do while loop. Okay, we'll see the examples. Observe here. See here we have a scanner class. It is asking your age. Okay, based on your age it is telling you are adult or not. This is the way you need to use if else, only if else. Nested if else means, see, it is again checking if your age is greater than 0 and 12, you are child. Okay, if greater than 13 and less than 19, you are a teenager. Okay, you can use this number of else if. Okay, and you can keep one else. This is default. If any condition is not satisfied, the else block will be executed. See this switch statement. Enter a day number. Okay, suppose whichever day you enter a 4 means it will print Thursday. Okay, otherwise default means you are entered invalid day. Okay, this is the way you need to use switch. Okay, enter month number, like it will print winters, it will print the season based on your entered month. Okay, now here this is loop, you are printing 1 to 5. Okay, normally what you need to write, you need to write print 1 to 5 means you have to write 5 times print statement. Okay, you need to write 5 times print statement, like 1, 2, like that you need to write 5 times. Okay, you need to write 5 times. You see here code will get duplicated. What you are doing only one function here, you are just printing. So that's why we will use here print inside a for loop from starting with 1. Every time we will increase the value, we will go until the 5. Okay, it will print 1 to 5. So this is reverse, you are increasing value, you are checking the condition, and you are decreasing the value. Same thing, enter number 2 to 10. Okay, this is enhanced for loop. As of now it's not needed, we will discuss in the arrays. Okay, this is nested loops. You can write how many loop inside nested loop. Okay, here you return 2, right? You can return 3, 4 loops also you can write, and you can write like this also. Okay, you can write, there is no, you can write like, you can in a space inside this is scope, you can write number of loops. Inside a loop you can write a loop, but inside a loop you can write 2 loops. Okay, that is a fine. See here count, this is the condition, this is a while loop. Okay, then we have here do while loop. Okay, see this is all. If you go to the code, right, you will understand the things. Okay, now I am executing this code. Say I am entering my age here, suppose 26. See, it is saying you are an adult, category adult. So I am entering here 8, right? See, invalid day. Suppose if I enter a month 3, it is providing you here spring season. For loop example, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is printed. Why it is printed in same line? Observe here. Okay, because you are using here print statement. Suppose if I change to println, if I run again, okay, let me give here 12. Okay, 4, see, now it is changed. Okay, 3. Now observe here, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because println will print in the new line. Okay, here see still it is a print, right? That's why you are getting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is the way you need to use loops. So why I didn't explain here clearly loops, right? I in my channel, if you go to my YouTube channel, programming, you go to YouTube, search for programming with Vishnu. Okay, this is my channel. Subscribe if you are not. In a playlist, you go to the Java for beginners, right? whatever I explained here, everything is there. That's why see variables, it is completely 40 minutes video, 24 loops are there, everything is there. I'll provide this all the links in below in the description. You can check out and you can understand. I just explained here briefly. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, if you go to, I'll provide my GitHub. Okay, here in this, whichever the code I explained you guys in Java part 1 in source folder, you have all the demo code, whatever I written for the data types, okay, for the typecasting, everything is there here. I'll provide this link also. It is a public repository, you can access it. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a great day.